Alright, I'm here to talk about the advocacy speeches, to specifically review a speech. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Christie's speech on Section 16. She went second on Monday, and, she talks about Adderall usage on college campuses, specifically LSU, and things that people didn't know about it, and, I really liked this speech because I thought it was very relevant because everybody uses Adderall, and, it really pulled me in quick. The structure of this speech, she had a very good structure. She started off with an attention-getting device, which was one of the requirements, and in this device she used a joke about Adderall, saying that if you have a test tomorrow morning and you're up at 12, no worries, pop an Adderall, whoop, stay up all night and you'll be fine. I thought it was funny because it's true, everybody does that. And I thought she had a really good intro. I thought it pulled you in because it was a very relevant topic, because there's not a single person that I know that does not use or has not used Adderall. I use Adderall all the time. I'm probably going to use it a lot next week during finals, but that's a whole other story. She talked about she dove into main points, and I thought that was good because that was one of the requirements. Her first point was why these drugs are in such a high demand on college campuses, and she talks about how it's cheating. Under this point, she talks about how it's a performance-enhancing drug, and just like in any sport, baseball, people get in trouble every day because they take steroids, and it's not a level playing field because not everybody's taking steroids. It's not fair that someone can take Adderall and dominate a test, and someone else has to be themselves during this test. It's not fair. It's cheating. For a second point, she dove into why it is bad to take Adderall if you're not prescribed. And she talked about dependence under this point. She said that it can be the same as any hardcore drug addict. It's something that you truly need. Like when you start doing it, you don't want to stop. You sit there and you can't study the same unless you have it. And I thought that was a really good point that she brought up. She then talked about the fact that it is growing, and I 100% agree because it's everywhere. I see it all the time. People have it. People pop it, eat it like pills. She also talked about how there's an increase in death amongst people who use stimulants, and this was a very good point because I didn't know that, and I didn't know if it correlated to Adderall, but I thought it was a good point nonetheless. Then she talked about how this is also taking unnecessary risks. You're doing something illegal, and you don't need to be doing this. It doesn't make any sense. If you study earlier, you'll be fine. You can pass classes then. Then for her third point, she talked about why selling it is bad, and her first thing that she dove into under this is that you'll have no pills left for yourself. People actually skip doses, and that's not good because you're the one who needs it, not the people that you're selling it to. And you shouldn't have to suffer just to make a little extra money on the side. Her second point under this was that it is illegal, and I thought that was just glaring. I thought that was good because people don't even realize that you're doing something illegal, and no one wants to get in any trouble. Her third point under this, why selling it is bad, is that it was a Schedule II drug. Schedule II controlled substance, and it's in the same class as meth and cocaine. I thought this was a very good point because no one knows that. I didn't know that, and when you hear meth and cocaine, you freak out, but when you hear Adderall, you're just like, oh yeah, it's no big deal. Well, this kind of put it in perspective and made you realize that it is a serious thing. And she talked about how you can get serious jail time for selling Adderall, obviously in massive quantities, but selling Adderall, you can get in trouble. I know people who've gotten expelled from it in high school back in the day. Good kids just selling Adderall, whoop, popped. Not jail, but they got expelled from school. I thought she had a lot of resources. Sources. It was very good. She constantly was bringing up new facts and keeping you interested and hitting you with information that no one really knew. Lastly, her last point was what we can do as a class to stop this growing epidemic, and one of the things she said was that we can ban it from student health centers, making people go off campus to get it, like the people who buy it and stuff, and I thought this was good because it'll obviously make it harder for them to get, but they still would get it, obviously. Then she had a source saying that you should need to go off campus, which I thought was good, because she backed up her information. She had somebody advocating for this, and it wasn't just her idea out of the blue. and that was a requirement as well. Then she talked about we should make people aware of the effects of Adderall, because they don't. Most people don't know. I had no idea. You know, when I first took an Adderall, I had no idea what it was. You should learn about what it can do to you, and before you embark on this slippery slope. And I thought that was very true. She said that if you did know exactly what it did to you and what it can do and all the facts about it, you may in fact think twice before taking it. And I thought that was quite true. Another structural thing she did, she had a conclusion after her main points. She also walked around and used, body movement to indicate transitions, not only verbally, but also physically, and I thought that was good, and that was also a requirement. And in her conclusion, she basically restated her position and summed up her main points, and she left us with a very good lasting statement about how next time you think about popping an Adderall, you should just study earlier, And I thought it was a light moment. It made it funny. And it made it, it's true. You really can achieve anything if you're going to put your mind to it and study hard. You don't need performance enhancers to do that. And I thought that made it and put it in perspective. Well, that's that for her speech. But to dive into the logical fallacy, in my speech, I did a speech about driving and how it should be harder to get your driver's license. And I did a logical fallacy where I said that regarding old people, I said, yeah, there's a misconception about old people that they drive safe because they drive slow, and I said, wrong, no, they drive slow because they can't see. And this is obviously not true. They, for sure, some of them can't see, but not all of them can't see, and I just made that fallacy statement regarding every single old person not being able to see, and that's obviously not true. So that was that for the logical fallacy. And alright, well, today I've summed up the review of Christie's speech and given you a logical fallacy. Thank you.